God's advice today. God's counsel for today. This message was lovingly prepared to bring peace and guidance to your heart. If it touches you, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. That way, you'll keep receiving uplifting content. Stay with us until the end. We've prepared something special with great care. Discover something life-changing. In the first comment, I left a special prayer and an opportunity that could open doors you never imagined. God said, "Beloved child, awaken and listen carefully to what I speak to you now, for there is a subtle thief of light circling your emotions. He does not announce himself with violence, but with weariness, distraction, and conformity." Have you felt this fine mist that veils your enthusiasm, as if something is being slowly drained from you? This is no coincidence. It is a strategy, a constant emptying meant to draw you away from the living truth within you. That is why I call you to loving vigilance, not the kind that fears, but the kind that discerns. Look around you. How many bonds do you maintain merely out of habit? How many tasks fill your hours without nourishing your essence? Are you seeking a deep spiritual change in your life and in the lives of those you love? Imagine attracting wealth and abundance in less than a week, while blessings pour down upon you daily. It all begins with a simple 1-minute prayer. To discover how this technique can transform your reality, click the link in the first comment. Every step you take on this journey not only benefits you but also supports our channel and the dedicated team bringing you this valuable content. Do not wait any longer to begin this journey of spiritual and material transformation. Click now to learn more and start your path toward a fuller and more abundant life. Today I ask you, do not ignore that sacred discomfort whispering in the silence, for it is my presence watching over you. You were not created to survive on autopilot but to live in fullness. Revive your spirit, filter your companions, purify your thoughts. Can two walk together, unless they are agreed? Amos chapter 3 verse 3. Let this question echo within you and break the ties that silently drain your light. I am with you, not to accuse you, but to lift you up. And if you choose to turn your whole heart back to me, you will see the flame that was never meant to be extinguished reignite within you. Comment, I am waiting on God, ready to receive His blessings. I saw you trying to hold the structure together, even with the soul's pillars cracked. I saw you getting up with a heavy heart, silencing your pain so the world wouldn't notice. And while many call that strength, I, who dreamed of you before time, know that I did not create you to live in the constant exhaustion of mere survival. You were shaped with divine intention, to live in fullness, not just endurance. You have tolerated more than you should, people who drain your energy, places that misalign your faith, routines that suffocate your light. But listen. Resisting what makes you ill is not courage, it is accumulated fatigue. And that is not the legacy I left for you. My son, it is time to recognize that your worth lies not in how much you can endure, but in how much you allow me to lead you into a new path. Comment, my soul recognizes the tenderness of God, in Him my spirit finds rest. Your story does not need to be written with the ink of suffering. There is a promise over you that the world cannot erase. It is written, though the fig tree does not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. Habakkuk chapter 3 verses 17 and 18. This means your peace does not depend on circumstances but on the presence that dwells with you. Many confuse resilience with conformity, but I call you to discern. There are situations that require staying, and others that ask you to leave. Do not be afraid to release what no longer aligns with your spirit. You were not created to fit into molds that oppress you. Let me teach you the difference between persistence and emotional imprisonment. What comes from me always adds peace, even in the midst of struggles. There is a stillness invading your chest, a silence that screams louder than any word. This discomfort, this restlessness repeating in your days, is my spirit awakening you to something greater. As it is written, return to me with all your heart, and I will return to you. Joel chapter 2 verse 12. This is not a rebuke, but a sacred invitation. I want you to return not out of obligation, but out of longing. The world has normalized indifference and disguised exhaustion as productivity. But you, my child, were called to live awake, where every step carries intention and truth. Listen to your soul. It still remembers how it felt to walk in covenant with me. Come back to that path. No matter how far you've strayed, I will be exactly where you left me, ready to restore every part that was forgotten. What you feel is not just a momentary shake. It is the cry of your essence calling for authenticity. You no longer laugh as you once did. You no longer light up at the things that used to ignite your soul. This is not just physical exhaustion, it is a spiritual misalignment. When you allow daily concessions to erode your inner truth, your light fades and life becomes a repeated script. But I remind you, you were conceived in fullness, heir to a light that surpasses all shadow. Turn to me, without fear, without masks, without the need to always be strong. Your fragility does not scare me, it draws me in. I am ready to rebuild with tenderness what has collapsed within you, to touch with mercy what has fallen asleep, and to reignite what was lost along the way. Just one breath directed toward me, and I will make your whole story new again. Comment: when I lose myself, it is in God's embrace that I rediscover my destiny. Many have applauded you for enduring so much, but I call you to a new definition of strength, one that says, enough to what hurts, and yes to what heals. Deception seeps in through small cracks, a tolerated thought, an ignored truth, a feigned emotion. And it is in these nearly imperceptible details that your soul disconnects. I see what even you don't have the courage to face, the emptiness behind the smile, the pain you pretend to have overcome, the bonds you maintain out of fear of being alone. But I tell you, to live like this is not to live, it is to resist in vain. You were created to fly freely, to feel joy without guilt, to love without the chains of the past. The time has come to regard your journey with reverence. What does not sustain you, makes you sick. And what I did not plant, must be uprooted. Comment: there is no healing without truth, and the truth that sets free speaks with a father's voice. Did you know there is an effective method to attract more financial prosperity? This technique can help transform your deepest beliefs and change the way you perceive reality. It was something that deeply impacted my life, and we would like to invite you to discover this special practice. When we trust that God wants to act in our lives, we gain the courage to ask Him directly. God desires to bless each one of us in a unique and wonderful way. That is why it is important to seek His blessings with faith and confidence, believing that He has a special plan for you. If you want to support our work and the team dedicated to bringing content that inspires and transforms, we invite you to check out our product. The link is available in the first comment, so you can find out how this technique can also help you on your journey. Your contribution helps us continue sharing messages that make a difference. We are very grateful for your trust and support. You have been walking roads that seemed firm but whose solidity was only an appearance. You have made choices that promised stability but robbed your authenticity. You have silenced your feelings in the name of logic and stifled your intuition in the name of prudence. And I, your Father, see all this. And because I love you deeply, I come to call you before the ground collapses. It is not the storm that wounds most, my child, but neglect. It is the small daily deviation, the distraction, the haste, the superficiality with which you have treated your soul. You no longer recognize yourself in the mornings. Your eyes, even open, carry fog. Your soul, still moving, no longer dances like before. And I feel your pain. Because even when you do not speak, I listen. Even when you do not pray, I perceive your silent cry. Return, my child. Come back to the origin. Come back to me. Everything you need to be restored is in me. You do not need to wait for a grand sign. The mere fact that you are reading these words is already a miracle. It is proof that you still listen, that your soul still desires. I am here, not to accuse you, but to welcome you. My embrace awaits you before the abyss closes. You still have time. There is still a path. There is still hope. The world tries to convince you that willpower, productivity, goals, and performance are enough. And you try to follow, you run, you wear yourself out, believing that if you just try harder, everything will be resolved. But listen to what I say with love. There are wounds that do not heal with time, but with surrender. There are pains that are not resolved with effort, but with yielding. And there are voids that are not filled with achievements, but with presence, with my presence. I am that presence, not an idea, not a doctrine, but a living breath that dwells within your intimacy. I am your comfort, your strength, your deepest truth. I am right now touching your spirit, not with external words, but with a trembling that comes from within. This discomfort you feel is sacred. Do not reject it. Do not resist the unease that these words provoke. This discomfort is the Spirit awakening in you, reminding you who you are. You are not your mistake. You are not your pain. You are not your fall. You are my child. You are light that needs to shine again. I am your refuge. I am your origin. I am your eternal home. Do not keep distancing yourself from yourself. Because when you move away from me, it is from yourself that you move away. And the way back begins now. With a yes. With a step. With a sincere glance to the sky and a silent cry, Father, I am here. There is still time. And while your heart beats, there is always a new chance. No mistake is too great for my love. No fall is too deep for my hand not to reach. No loss is final when you allow me to restore. I knock at the door of your being with tenderness, with constancy, with love. But I do not force entrance. The doorknob is on the inside. You choose. And at this moment, I invite you to choose reunion. Choose to rediscover your essence before it is lost in versions that do not represent you. Choose to rediscover your faith before life hardens your heart. Choose to rediscover your light before darkness convinces you it no longer exists. I created you for truth, for beauty, for abundant life. And all of this still dwells in you, even if covered. It still vibrates in your spirit, still breathes within your intimacy. This is your sacred calling. Do not settle for crumbs of peace, leftovers of faith, fragments of hope. Come, return. I am the Father who waits for you, not with judgment, but with celebration. With honor, with healing, with renewal. You are my child. And this is the time to return to being who you are in me. There is still time. There is always time for love to start again. Do not settle for a routine where joy is absent, where the heaviness on your chest upon waking becomes a cycle that imprisons you every day. I call you back to clarity, to the light that dwells in you and must never be extinguished by fatigue, sadness, or indifference. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah chapter 60 verse 1. This is your true identity, a being illuminated by my glory, called to live in fullness and hope, not someone who accepts silent pain as a permanent state. Do not let discouragement steal your brightness, because within you resides a strength greater than any storm surrounding you. Even when nights are long and the burden seems unbearable, I am with you, offering a new dawn of peace and renewal. Open your heart to receive this light that breaks through darkness and calls you to a full life, filled with purpose, faith, and true joy. Your glory is about to be born. Do not fear to rise. The danger surrounding you does not come with shouts, it whispers. It disguises itself as comfort, companionship, harmless distraction. But little by little, it pulls you away, draining your strength and clarity. Have you noticed how easy it is to get used to feeling bad? To label deep wounds as just difficult moments? That is not living. That is surviving on the margins of what I prepared for you. And I want more. I want to heal the cracks in your soul, the ones no one sees. I want to fill the spaces where there is now only emptiness. But I need you to turn to me. Do not run to empty advice, nor be inspired by voices that do not come from heaven. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5. When you rely on your own tired thoughts, you move away from the wisdom that can lift you up. How many times have you called out to me in prayer, seeking relief from what feels unbearable, only to return to what weakens you afterward? There are habits, places, and connections that seem to offer freedom at first glance but are actually prisons in disguise. They don't shout to get your attention. Instead, they lull you with empty promises, soothing you with false comforts while quietly draining your peace and hope. I know sometimes you smile on the outside, trying to show that everything is fine, but inside, something is lost each day. Your heart silently cries out, and my spirit hears that hidden plea. I don't need you to fall broken and defeated for me to extend my hand. I am already here, beside you, waiting for you to whisper, "Help me, Father." I strengthen your steps even before you stumble. Remember, call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Jeremiah chapter 33 verse 3. But for the answer to come, you need to stop calling what's hurting you just a phase. What pains you must not be ignored, it needs to be treated with love and courage. You were not created to live at the edge of emotional exhaustion, carrying an invisible weight that drains your soul. You were formed by me to walk with serene confidence, steady steps, and a light spirit because that is the life I desire for you. I know there are doors you have not had the courage to close yet, paths that seem easy but pull you away from me and the full life I planned. Now it is time to decide, either you follow me, listening to my voice that calls for freedom, or you listen to the voices of the world that want to confuse and pressure you into settling for pain. I will not leave you alone to face this choice. If you ask me for strength, I will give you strength. If you ask me for direction, I will show you the way. But you need to truly desire to leave that dangerous place where you are. One small wrong step can cause great damage. My desire is to lift you up before you fall. Reach out your hand to me and feel my firm and loving embrace. Look at yourself carefully, without masks. You have accepted what destroys you as if it were part of who you are, without questioning the silent pains that wake your chest tight each morning. You try to go through the day pretending everything is fine, but that is not living fully, it's just adapting to brokenness. I did not call you for that. When you look in the mirror and barely recognize the person you see, know that it is not normal. That is your soul begging for help, crying out for healing. So instead of pretending to be brave, stop for a moment. Be silent and call out to me. I don't need you to hide the truth behind a mask of strength. I want to heal your hidden wounds, take off the burden no one sees, and revive your spirit deep within because I know you completely. For that, you must stop lying to yourself, saying everything is fine when, in truth, you need healing, and I am your healing. If something hurts you, if a relentless pursuit has stolen your peace, if a relationship you maintain drains you more than it strengthens you, then recognize this: it does not come from me. Do not cling to what scratches you inside, trying to make it seem all right. I am here offering an escape route before you fall again. I am holding your hand firmly and lovingly, ready to remind you who you are and where you should go. Don't accept living on the crumbs of what hurts you. Don't trade the true for the familiar just because it seems easier. Every time the known seems more comfortable than the true, stop and seek me. I am your shelter, your strength, your safe refuge. You have confused routine with purpose, survival with fulfillment, and now it's time to awaken from this deceptive sleep. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28. You do not need to carry this burden alone. I offer rest and renewal for your weary heart. The freedom you long for begins when you recognize that what seems small, the things you try to ignore, may be draining your soul. That hurtful conversation, that habit that distances you from me, that persistent thought telling you that you are not enough, none of this is irrelevant. It is all part of an invisible chain I want to break, because I came to restore you completely. I want to return the sparkle to your eyes, the strength to your heart, and the peace that surpasses all understanding. But for this, you must stop accepting pain as part of your daily landscape. You must let me guide your steps with care, wisdom, and power. If you keep believing the emptiness is your home, you will get even more lost. You might think I've turned away, that I don't hear your cry, but the truth is I have never stopped calling you. Listen again. Return to recognizing my voice, because it is leading you back home, and that home is where you walk with me, in peace, in light, in safety. Don't let your inner peace be stolen by company that demands too much, that controls or drains your energy. You deserve to be with those who value you wholly, even when you feel broken, tired, or empty. I created you for the truth of connection, for those who share the journey of your soul and lift you up when you can no longer stand on your own. My son, take this message with the urgency it deserves, for time waits for no one, and the choices you make today will shape your tomorrow. Sometimes warnings come as small signs, almost imperceptible, restless thoughts, habits you try to justify, or decisions that seem harmless. But I tell you with all the love in my heart, what you ignore today can grow and become your greatest source of pain tomorrow. The deepest wound in your spirit does not appear suddenly, it forms slowly, in the compromises you make with yourself by not facing what hurts, in the silence you choose instead of truth, in the tears you swallow, and in the boundaries you fail to set. I do not want you to get lost in a dark place where life becomes just an empty existence, without light or hope. Freedom begins when you decide to walk alongside those who lead you closer to me, and when you recognize that your inner peace is too sacred to be sacrificed. Listen to my voice, hear me with all your being. Today is the moment to choose what will make you bloom. With love, God. I hope this message has been an inspiration to you. If it touched your heart, Write Amen in the comments and share it with someone who also needs to hear this word. I invite you to click on the first comment, where you will find a special prayer and a suggestion to strengthen your spiritual journey. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to receive more inspiring content like this. See you tomorrow.